Hello friends, this is the 11th lecture of our unit phenols and alcohols, and today we will discuss about how we can synthesize alcohols from alkenes, and the topic that we are discussing today is hydration of alkenes. But before discussing today's lecture, let us first learn something about alkenes, that what are alkenes. Now as we all know that alkenes are those compounds which contains double bond in it. Suppose this is an alkene, so those compounds which contains double bond in them, these are called alkenes. Now these have these electrons, pi electron density, high pi electron density. That's why they can be attacked by electrophiles. Generally they undergo electrophilic addition reactions. So alkenes, they undergo electrophilic addition reactions. So generally we represent electrophiles as E positive. It can be any electrophile, it can be H positive or any other Cl positive or any other electrophile. So electrophiles are those species which love electrons or which are short of electrons and which can accept electrons. Now let us see how they can react. Electrophiles, they can react with alkenes. Now suppose we have this alkene and now we attack this with some electrophiles. Now what can happen? This alkene, it can give its electrons to electrophiles, and what will happen now? This electrophile, it can add to either this carbon or this carbon. So we will discuss this with examples. So let us suppose electrophile add to this carbon. Now what will happen? As as this carbon has given, now these electrons has been donated to electrophile, so this carbon will get positive charge. Now it will become C single bond C. Now this to this carbon electrophile has been added. This is the first step in these reactions of alkenes, is addition of electrophiles, and it is the rate determining step. So generally what happens when we add an electrophile to carbon? So it adds to either one of these two carbons, and the another carbon, it carries a positive charge. Now the species which have a positive charge on carbon, these species are called carbocations. These are the reaction intermediates. You are aware of these. So carbocations, these are reaction intermediates in which the carbon carries a positive charge. Now in the next step, this intermediate, it can be attacked by any other nucleophile which can be a counter ion of this electrophile or some additional nucleophile from solvent. So what will happen? This electrophile, here is the positive charge. Now it will be attacked by nucleophile which is the counter ion of this electrophile. Suppose we have HBr. Now here Br positive, sorry, H positive is the electrophile. H positive is the electrophile, and Br negative, which is its counter ion, it is its nucleophile. Now this nucleophile, it will attack here on this carbon and you will get this product. So this is the overall mechanism by which these alkenes, they undergo electrophilic addition reaction. Why addition? Because we have added E and nucleophile to this C double bond C. That's why it is called an addition reaction. Why electrophile? Because attack of electrophile is the rate determining step. Now what I have said you, either this carbon can carry positive charge or this carbon can carry positive charge. Now which carbon will have positive charge? It depends upon stability of the carbocation, that we will see in our next slide. So how we can determine where the electrophile which add to which carbon. So this is the general mechanism for all the electrophilic addition reactions of alkenes, irrespective of nature of electrophile. It can be HBr, it can be water, even water, but we need acidic conditions for that, so that we will discuss today. Or it can be your HCl, it can be HCN, any reagent. Generally they adds by this way to alkenes. This is a general mechanism for electrophilic addition reaction. So please remember, alkenes, they undergo electrophilic addition reactions. Now as I said that in case of alkenes, when we add electrophile, then there are two possibilities. What are two possibilities? Suppose we name this carbon as 1, this carbon as 2. Now the possibility is that when this electron pair it goes to electrophile, first possibility is that electrophile can add to second carbon. Okay, then the first carbon will get a positive charge. Second possibility is that electrophile it may add to the first carbon, and your second carbon it may get positive charge. So there are two possibilities by which this addition of electrophile can takes place. Now whether this intermediate will be formed or this intermediate will be formed, it depends upon stability of the resultant intermediate. Now these intermediates they carry positive charge, so we call them carbocations. So carbocations are reaction intermediates which carries a positive charge on carbon. So it is a carbocation. Now the stability of the resulting carbocation, it will tell us whether this will be formed or this will be formed. If this carbocation is stable, then this product will be formed. If this carbocation is more stable, then this product will be formed. Now stability of carbocations, it follows the order. Tertiary carbocations, they are more stable than secondary carbocations, they are more stable than primary carbocation. So a tertiary carbocation is of this form. This is an alkyl group, CrR positive. This is a tertiary carbocation. A secondary carbocation will have this form. Here we will have one of this R will be replaced by H. It is a secondary carbocation. These are alkyl groups, and this R CH2 positive, it is a primary carbocation. Now the stability of carbocation is a different topic that we will discuss some other day, but many of you are already aware that it can be explained with the help of hyperconjugation. The stability of carbocations is explained on the basis of a phenomena called hyperconjugation. For now being, you can remember tertiary carbocations, they are more stable than secondary carbocations, they are more stable than primary carbocations. So with the help of this we will determine whether this product will be formed or this product will be formed. So this stability of carbocation, it leads to Markovnikov rule. So you might have heard this name many times, Markovnikov's rule. These rules apply to the electrophilic addition reaction of alkenes, and in simple words I can explain that this rule states that the addition of electrophile to an alkene, it proceeds in that way which forms a stable carbocation. Means that carbocation will be formed as major product which is more stable. So that is the Markovnikov rule. Other rule you might have studied in your lower classes. Another statement is this, that positive part of the addendum. Addendum means the reagent that we add. Suppose it is HBr. So we call it addendum. Its positive part is H positive. So positive part of the addendum which carries a positive charge, it goes to that carbon which has higher number of hydrogen atoms. Or another statement can be negative part of the addendum, it goes to that carbon which has lower number of hydrogen. So this is the statement of Markovnikov's rule. So today we will be using Markovnikov rules, stability of carbocations, and the basic reactions of alkenes to study the hydration of alkene. Now let us see what is hydration of alkene. As the name suggests, hydration of alkenes means addition of water to alkenes. Hydration means addition of water. So, but this addition does not take place if we simply add alkane to water. This is catalyzed by strong acid. So I will write H positive. H positive is for acid and it acts as a catalyst. So this addition of water to alkenes, which is called hydration, it is catalyzed by acids, and the product is what will happen. Water we can write like this: HOH. It is partial positive, it is partial negative. So to one carbon H positive will be added and to second carbon OH negative will be added. So as this is a symmetrical alkane, so you can add proton or OH to any carbon, the product will be same. So overall product will be uh, CH single bond COH. So you can see it is alcohol. So alcohols are formed upon hydration of alkenes, and but the problem is this: these alcohols under acidic conditions they show another reactions. If we have any alcohol and if we add some acid to it, in the presence of acid it undergo this dehydration. So this OH and H will be removed minus water. This is called, this reverse reaction is called dehydration. So the product will be C double bond C, alkenes. So alkenes will be formed. So my concern is that this reaction, hydration of alkenes, is a reversible reaction because the products that are formed under the same conditions, they undergo another reaction called dehydration to give you back the alkenes. Now the question arises, if we want to prepare alcohols in higher yield, what to do? So what we can do is we can take the help of Le Chatelier's principle, which states that if we disturb the equilibrium, then the equilibrium will shift in that reaction to undo that change. Means if we keep removing or if we add more water, if we add more water, if we keep adding more water, what will do? The equilibrium will tend to utilize water. So utilization of more water means production of more alcohol. So when we have to make alcohols from alkenes, we generally take higher amount of water. These are the preferable conditions to get alcohols from alkenes. Now this is a general reaction. The forward reaction is called hydration and its reverse reaction is called dehydration. So in order to have higher alcohol yield, or if we have to shift this equilibrium to right hand side, we have to add more water. Now let us see the mechanism of this reaction. As I said, alkenes they undergo electrophilic addition reaction, and this reaction is catalyzed by acids H positive, or generally in presence of water it is written as H3O positive. So the first step is addition of acid to alkene, which is an electrophilic addition step, plus O H H H. Now this is positive charge, this is acid. Alkene will attack here, this electron will shift here, and you can see the product will be, now this is a symmetrical alkane. You can add this H positive to either this carbon or this carbon, the product will be same. So suppose we add this H to this carbon, so C H single bond, now it has become single bond because this electron has been donated. C, here is the positive charge, plus if H positive will be removed from this H3O positive, what will remain? Water. Now as these carbocations they are less stable, that's why the equilibrium lies mostly to the left hand side. Now this is the first step. Now in the second step there is addition of nucleophile, and nucleophile in this reaction is water. So water has these two lone pairs, so it can act as a nucleophile. So what will happen in the second step? So I will show the attack of nucleophile as this H C positive plus water. So we can write water like this. So these electrons will go here. So we can say this nucleophile will attack to this carbon. So the product will be C H C oxygen H H, and it contains a positive charge. Now oxygen, as it has donated its electron, so now the positive charge will remain on oxygen. Now this is the second step. Now the third step, which is, you can easily guess the third step. Now we say H3O positive is a catalyst, but in these reactions we have consumed it. The condition for a catalyst is that it remains unutilized or unconsumed. So next step is the generation of electrophile. What will happen? This product that is formed, I will write here. So H C O H H positive. So what will do? Water will abstract a proton from this water. So it will abstract a proton and this electron will go here. So what you will get is that the product will be formed C H C O H alcohol. So the resulting product is alcohol. So that is the overall mechanism of this reaction. So it is quite simple. It is similar to the general mechanism that I have shown in my first slide of alkenes. Now the electrophile was H3O positive, and so this alkene, it attacked from here to this H positive, and this electron went to oxygen. So we get this carbocation and water. So this is carbocation. Now in the second step, the carbocation is attacked by the nucleophile, which is water in this case. So water will attack here, you will get this. Now third step is simple regeneration of the catalyst. This can be done by addition of one more molecule of water. It abstracts a proton, this proton from here, and you get resulting alcohol, and obviously you will get plus H3O positive. Now you can see this is again acid is regenerated, so it acts as a catalyst. So this is the general mechanism of this reaction. So it is quite simple. If we add, so the overall reaction is that if we add water to alkene to one carbon, hydrogen is added, and to second carbon OH group is added, and the resulting product is alcohol. So this is called direct hydration of alkene. So now let us see. Now this is very important, as I was mentioning again and again. This is called orientation of hydration of alkenes, or we can also call it regioselectivity. Now what does this regioselectivity means? Let us understand by example of, suppose we have propene. Now the propene is CH3 CH double bond CH2. Now again we are doing hydration of alkene. I will write the steps. Now suppose if we add H positive, now I will show simple H positive. This electron will go here. Now there are two possibilities. Now here comes the beauty. There are two possibilities. The first possibility is, suppose it is carbon 1, it is carbon 2. The first possibility is this H positive, it gets attached to carbon 2 and positive charge it comes on carbon 1. So we can write CH3, CH positive, CH3. One hydrogen has been added to this, so it becomes CH3. Second possibility is this hydrogen, it gets attached to carbon 1 and we get positive charge on carbon 2. So I will write this with different color. So second possibility is CH3, CH2, CH2 positive. Now whether this carbocation will be formed or this carbocation will be formed, it depends upon the stability of the carbocation. Now this carbocation is, you can see this carbon carrying positive charge is further attached to two carbons, so it is a secondary carbocation. This carbocation, it carries a positive charge and it is attached to only one carbon, so it is a primary carbocation. Now we all know that secondary carbocations, they are more stable than primary carbocations. So it can be explained with the help of hyperconjugation. I will make a different lecture some other day. So now the first step will lead to this carbocation, which is more stable. This will also be found, but its concentration will be quite less, so it will lead to minor product. This will lead to major product, this will lead to minor product. Now let us write what will be the product. So I will simply now write the possibility which is more stable. So you get CH3, CH positive, CH3. Now the second step is, you all know that addition of its second counter ion OH negative. The reaction does not takes place the way I am writing. The mechanism is this: first H3O positive, then water, then elimination of this proton. Now here I am just writing just to explain that considering water as H positive and OH negative, first addition of H positive, there were two possibilities, but this is the stable product. So we have written this. In the second step, the counter ion of water OH negative, because the overall after studying mechanism, but we learned that the overall mechanism is on one carbon there is addition of proton H positive and on second carbon there is addition of OH. So simply write H. It is the overall reaction. So now if we add OH negative to this, the product will be CH3, CHOH, CH3. If we add OH negative to this, the product will be CH3, CH2, CH2OH. Now there are the possibility of formation of two products. Either this can be formed or this can be formed. So out of these, one will be major and one will be minor. So this is our main product, major product, that will be formed. This can also be explained on the basis of your Markovnikov's rule, which says that positive part of the addendum. Now our addendum is water, which is written as H2O. So H2O, which is written as HOH. It is positive part, it is a negative part. So Markovnikov rule says that the major product is that product in which the positive part H positive goes to that carbon which has higher number of carbon atoms. So that carbon which is attached, these two carbons are having double bond, we need not to consider this carbon because it has no role. The addition is to C double bond C. Now out of these two carbons, this carbon has more, already has more hydrogens, so this H will go to this carbon. As you can see in major product, it has gone to this and the negative part goes to those carbon which has higher lesser number of hydrogens. So this is the generalization given by Markovnikov rule, and it is explained on the basis of this stability of carbocation, because if we add the positive part to that carbon which has higher number of hydrogen atoms, then the carbocation which is formed is more stable. So we can also use Markovnikov rule in your competitive exams. You simply remember this rule that whenever you have to add a reagent to alkene, it always adds with the help of Markovnikov rules, which says that positive part goes to that carbon which has higher number of hydrogens, and the negative part goes to that carbon of double bond which has a lower number of hydrogens, and it can also be explained on the basis of stability of carbocations. Now I was talking about regioselectivity. So this phenomena is called regioselectivity. So regioselectivity means, so now how we can define regioselectivity? So regioselectivity says that if there is a possibility of forming or breaking a bond in more than one direction. Now this H has to make a bond with the carbon, so it can make with this carbon as well as this carbon. So there were two possibilities of making carbon hydrogen bond. So we will say this is a regioselective reaction, or we will say this phenomena is a regioselectivity. So regioselectivity is what? Whenever there is a formation of, there is a possibility of either forming or breaking a bond in more than one ways, this phenomena is called regioselectivity, and the reaction is called regioselective reactions. So as in this reaction is a regioselective. Why? Because there were two possibilities of forming the carbocation, out of which this was more stable, so this was the major product. This will also be formed, but it will be formed in lesser amount. Now let us take another example by which we can study this just to practice. Suppose we have CH3 C CH3 CH double bond CH. So here it is C, because the valency is complete. So you have to be very careful while writing the structures, because students generally make this mistake. They make 5 bonds. So C double bond CH CH3. Suppose I have this compound. Now this compound is suppose if we start numbering 1 2 3 4, 2 methyl butene. Okay, this is the product 2 methyl butene. Now suppose if we want to do its hydration under H positive condition, so what will be the major product and what will be the minor product? Let us try to find it. Now you can see, according to, first let us simply apply Markovnikov rules. Water we can write as HOH. It says that hydrogen or positive part of this addendum, positive part is hydrogen, negative part is OH. So H will go to that carbon of double bond which has higher number of hydrogen. So H will go here, OH will go here. So the major product will be CH3 CH3 CH2 CH3 OH, and the minor product will be, this will also be formed CH3 CH3, in which this hydrogen is added to this carbon and this OH goes here. So this is the minor product. This is major, this is minor. Now let us try to explain it with the help of our mechanism. Now let us see the first step. The first step was addition of proton. Okay, so there were two possibilities. Addition of proton, I will write two possibilities. Let us see what will happen. First let us write that this H positive, now we are adding H positive here. Let us suppose this H positive, it goes here and positive charge, it goes to third carbon and positive charge will come on second carbon. So what will happen? CH3 CH3 single bond CH2 CH3, this will carry a positive charge. Second possibility was here H positive will go to second carbon and positive will come on third carbon. So it will become CH3 CH3 H CH CH3 positive. Now whether this is will be formed or this will be formed, it depends upon their stability. Now this carbocation is a tertiary carbocation, whereas this carbocation is a secondary carbocation. Now we know that tertiary carbocation is more stable than secondary carbocation. So this carbocation will have higher concentration than this carbocation. So if we add OH negative here, if we add OH negative here, this will be the product which is the major product. If we add OH negative here, this will be the product which is the minor product. So you can determine the product either with the help of Markovnikov's rule, which states, as I said, the positive part of the addendum goes to that carbon of a double bond which has a higher number of hydrogen atoms. So this carbon has one hydrogen, this carbon has no hydrogen directly attached to it. So that's why this positive part H positive will add to this carbon. And why this happens? So because of the stability of the resulting carbocation formed. So that is the reason behind this regioselectivity. So regioselectivity is determined with the help of stability of carbocations. So it is very important, stability of carbocations, that determines which product will be the major product and which product will be the minor product. Now the last topic in this hydration reactions is rearrangements. So do remember, whenever the reaction takes place through carbocation intermediate, this is a general statement, very important statement. Whenever a reaction takes place through carbocation intermediate, there is always a possibility of rearrangement product formed. Now let us understand this. How? Suppose this is the product, this is the reactant CH3 C CH3 CH3 CH double bond CH2 1 2 3 4, it is 3 dimethyl butene 1-ene but 1-ene. Now if we do its hydration in the presence of a acid catalyst, which is a reversible reaction by the way. Now let us try to determine the product using our Markovnikov rules. Now water has to add to this C double bond C. So water means to one carbon hydrogen will be added and to second carbon OH will be added. So according to Markovnikov rule, this H will go to that carbon which has higher number of hydrogens. So carbon 1 has 2 hydrogens, carbon 2 has 1 hydrogen. So this hydrogen will go to this carbon. So the product will be CH3 C CH3 CH3 CHOH CH3. So this is the expected product. Okay, so this product should be the major product when we do the hydration of this alkene. but in actual practice this product is not obtained. We get a product CH3 C CH3 OH CH CH3 CH3. So this is the major product in this reaction, and this has been obtained through some rearrangement. So this is a rearrangement product. Now how this product is obtained, let us try to understand. We will understand this with the mechanism if we write the various steps. Now let us write the mechanism. See, the first step was, this was the product C reactant CH3 CH3 CH double bond CH2. Now the first step is addition of proton. Now the proton will add to this carbon and it will get a positive charge, because we will get a secondary carbocation which is more stable than the carbocation, primary carbocation, which had been obtained if we have added proton to this carbon. So CH3 CH positive CH3. Now this is a secondary carbocation. Okay, this will be the carbocation which will be formed when we add H positive to this. There was another possibility that H has been added here and positive charge should have come here, but that was primary carbocation, so that is not stable. Now what happens is that in such reactions there is a this migration of this methyl group. It can take place. If this migration takes place, migration of methyl group, what will be the product? This will be CH3 CH3 CH CH3 CH3. Here comes the positive charge. After this migration of methyl group, now you can see if we shift this methyl group, you will get a carbocation now which is a tertiary carbocation. Now we know that tertiary carbocation is more stable than secondary carbocation. So as this migration leads to a more stable carbocation, so this migration takes place, or we can say this rearrangement takes place. The driving force for this rearrangement is stability of tertiary carbocation than secondary carbocation. That is the driving force behind this migration. And now the nucleophile, it attacks to this carbocation OH negative will add here, and we will get CH3 CH3 OH CH CH3 CH3. We will get this product. You can see this is the rearrangement product. So please keep in mind, whenever there is a carbocation is involved in the reaction, there is always a possibility of rearrangement. So rearrangements can take place either by methyl shift, or we can say alkyl shift, or there can also be hydride shift. In some cases hydride shift takes place, so you get a rearranged product. So you have to be very careful when you have to predict a product which involves a carbocation. We hurriedly, in a hurry, we might have guessed that this is the expected product by applying Markovnikov's rule, but in actual practice this product is the major which has been obtained by this rearrangement, and driving force for this rearrangement is stability of resulting carbocation obtained after rearrangement. Now let us do one practice. Suppose you have to rearrangement we have already discussed. So what I can conclude, just conclude that whenever there is formation of carbocations, please look for rearrangement if it is possible. Please look for rearrangement if it is possible. The driving the more stable carbocation has to be formed. If the rearrangement leads to the more stable carbocation, then rearrangement will take place. If there is no possibility of forming a more stable carbocation, then there will be no arrangement. In all cases, it is not necessary that rearrangement will take place in all cases. It will take place in only those cases which leads to the in those cases in which the rearrangement leads to the formation of more stable carbocation. Now let us do one problem. Suppose you have to predict the hydration product of one phenyl cyclohexene. Determine the hydration product of this reactant. Let us see, if we do its hydration, what will be the product. First let us write the structure of one phenyl cyclohexene. So cyclohexene is this. Now phenyl group is C6H5, or we can say this group is phenyl group. So I will just write C6H5. Now if we do its hydrolysis in acidic conditions, what will happen? We will take the help of your Markovnikov rules, that this H, now this carbon has no hydrogen, this carbon has one hydrogen. Okay, so this H of this water will go to that carbon of double bond which has higher number of hydrogens. So what will be the first step will be, this hydrogen will come here and you will get a carbocation here. Now this carbocation is a tertiary carbocation, it is very stable and there is no possibility of rearrangement. Now in the next step, OH negative will add. Now after forming this, how to solve the problems? First try to identify the carbocation formed according to Markovnikov rules. Then look for any rearrangement, if there is a possibility of any rearrangement or no. If there is no possibility of rearrangement, directly add the nucleophile to the carbon having positive charge. So 1-phenyl cyclohexanol will be the product which is obtained from this reaction. So that was all for today. So it was very quite interesting lecture in which we studied about hydration of alkenes. We learnt about Markovnikov rule, carbocations, electrophilic addition reactions, mechanism of hydration of alkenes, and regio selectivity in these reactions. And next, very important, rearrangement. So please remember, I am repeating again and again because students do mistake here. So whenever a reaction takes place through formation of a carbocation, there is a possibility of rearrangement product. So rearrangement takes place only when after rearrangement the carbocation which is formed, it is stable than the previous carbocation, only then rearrangement can take place. So I can make a different lecture entirely on rearrangement reactions of such types, so I will make later. Right now you can do practice by yourself. So thank you very much for your kind attention. Please do subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you very much.